What's been going on new with you guys? Sushi, are you into Marvel stuff at all? I was going to let you answer that question, and I decided to ask another question instead.
How are you? But wait, I have a question. I'm indifferent towards Marvel.
I was going to ask, because like this, I was thinking about this in the kitchen. I was curious if you had any interest in, since I know you have Disney Plus because of what's behind you right now.
Yes.
If you had watched WandaVision at all, if that was anything you were into, or if you had any.
I watched 2 episodes and I just don't understand because I don't like. I've seen a couple of Marvel movies and not a single one with Wanda in it, so I don't understand the references, and I don't care enough to like watch 20 movies to find out. You know, it's not gonna. It's just not gonna happen.
That's fair.
No.
That's fair. I was curious because, like, I've been watching it, and at first I thought it was a very slow burn. It is a very slow burn. It's gotten to a place now where it's like, okay, it's pretty interesting, but it is kind of weird.
It took a little bit to pick up.
It definitely does. It definitely does. But like when it picks up, it gets good. But like, it is kind of a weird thing to think about, like how exclusive the Marvel properties are. Like, because they all are tied. Like, I know they're trying to be like, oh yeah, you could just jump in whenever, but you really can't.
But like, not really.
Yeah.
No.
Like, yeah, you can go and just watch Thor. That's fine. But you always know that it's leading to something else, and it's like,
yeah.
And even like
there is a reference to something else in it.
Exactly.
You just didn't realize it.
Yeah. And it's like I've always really liked him. I guess I'm at that point now where it's like since I started it since the beginning, I'm kind of along for the ride.
You got to finish this off.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for as long as it goes for. I do feel like now it's a little bit much. Like, we're getting to a point where it's like, okay, maybe calm down a little bit with all of it. Yeah. It's a lot to keep up with, but. It made me think with video games and stuff. How do you guys feel about with video games, titles that get a sequel, but they also want to try to bring in a new audience with that sequel? Or do you think it's better to just do a sequel and know that, okay, this is for the fans of the fucking series? Like, what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer more inclusive or exclusive stuff when it comes to movies and TV shows and video games?
I think they can both exist. What do you think, Sam?
I think they can both exist, but I also really like it when they try new things. And most of the time they try new stuff to bring in a separate audience that they hadn't grabbed before. And I really, really like that. I think I'm one of the few people who doesn't give a fuck when they do like remakes and stuff and they like change a bunch of shit. Because, I don't know, to me, like, yeah, it's awesome. They could do a fucking like... side-by-side comparison and everything's just upgraded. But I want to enjoy something, I guess...
in a different way.
In a different way. Because if I wanted to play it or if I wanted to watch it, I just watch the original. I just play the original. I don't care.
I agree. Like, switch it up a little, improve upon it. I don't think changing just for changing's sake does anything. But if you can improve on it, I think switch it up a little. Because I agree. I could just play the original Skyrim and Hive on every platform there is. Yeah.
It's kind of like when RE3 came out, RE3 remake. Everybody complained about it. Now, my only complaint was I felt it was a little short, and the reason why I felt it was short is because I've played every other fucking Resident Evil game, and it's taken me days on stream. Yeah. It's taken me days to complete. I completed it in one night. And so to me, that was like, wow, that really is short. But I still really fucking enjoyed it. I loved it. And the only complaint that I heard from everybody else was, it's not the original. Well, no, of course it's not the original.
No, and you can play the original.
Play the original if you like the original then.
So I fall into a boat that's like a little bit in between. Because I think on the one end, I do kind of like how like Marvel has been so like, hey, you pretty much need to watch these movies to understand these movies, Like, I like that because I feel like, I'm like, oh man, I put in the time, I watched these, I've been built. So, like, you watch them for 10 years and you're like, this is the payoff, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I do like that, but I do understand the frustration of, like, why can't I just go watch the fucking Avengers and know what's going on? They're not going to, like, and I do find it a little weird, like, when games or movies, like, they do that thing where it's like, okay, they introduce a character that the vast majority of the audience already fucking knows, but because they're assuming that there's new people watching or playing, they have to reintroduce them like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But I think you can do it very correctly too. So when you think about like Metal Gear Solid, right? You have the like I'm not even going to go into all of the Metal Gear shit, but specifically the solid ones. Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation, you know, you play a Snake, you go through your whole thing, you do your stuff. They introduce it like, yeah, there were Metal Gear games in the NES, but we're just gonna kind of pretend that you don't really know about those. Like, they're still technically there. They still, like, obviously they mention like, oh yeah, you killed Big Boss a long time ago. They small shit like that, but it's nothing that's like, you needed to play the NES games.
Yeah.
But they did a really cool thing with Metal Gear Solid 2, where developmentally they were like, how in the fuck can we make a game where you play as Snake and you're supposed to be this fucking super soldier who you're not a rookie anymore, you know everything, but we also need to explain it to the player how to play the game. Because obviously nobody's gonna be like, Snake, remember you can crawl when he's fucking supposed to be the best soldier in the world.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's kind of dumb when they do that. So they did a bait and switch and they introduced Raiden, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so you start off with Snake and they just kind of throw you in. But then, like, you know, an hour into the game, suddenly you're playing as Raiden, and oh, this is the main character now? And the whole game is based around this fact that it's like, you're basically going, like, toe for toe, you're always running behind Snake. If you move fast enough, you can even see him in parts of the game. Like, you'll see him on a cardboard box running ahead of you on a bridge, you know? So you're always behind him. So, like, they made it so it's like, okay, a new player could jump into Metal Gear Solid 2 and feel like and not feel stupid that they're being taught how to play the game, and a player who played Metal Gear Solid 1 can jump into it and not feel like they're like, why are they showing this to me again? Because they're teaching Raiden this. They're not teaching you this. You know, so I feel like there's definitely a good in between you can get, but like at the same time, I do think it's a little like, and obviously for games like Skyrim or Fallout, those are their own story. They have a number on them, but they're all their own story, you know? Like, nobody's like, ugh, you didn't play Morrowind, and now you're not going to understand Skyrim. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right. They're separate
they're
people.
Hundreds of years apart anyway.
Yeah.
I think
they're not even in the same century.
Yeah, so, like, that kind of stuff is fine. But I do think it's like, you know, I don't want to see it. Like, I've never played the Mass Effect games, but I do know that they're all tied together. And I do think it gets a little bit dumb where, like, if say you're playing Mass Effect 3 or whatever, and they're like, remember, Shepard, you can fucking shoot a gun by holding the R1 button. You're like, okay, well, if you're playing Mass Effect 3, you should probably know that by now, you know? Like,
Right.
I think The Witcher 3 did a pretty good job because, you know, I hadn't played 1 or 2. I had watched a little bit of other people playing 1 and 2, but 3 did a really good job in the sense that if you had played 1 and 2, you get those callbacks of like, oh, I know this person. Oh man, here she is again, you know, kind of thing. But like for me as a new player coming in, it didn't overly do it to the point where I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, you know, it kind of like introduces things in a way that it's like, oh, new people can enjoy it just as much as people who have never played any of the games before. But it's kind of like comics. It's really hard for people who haven't grown up with comics or like, you know, been reading comics for a while to get into it because it's like, these storylines have been going on for so many years. It's like, how do I just jump in?
Like, if
and
you watch a Marvel movie, like, where do I start Iron Man? 1963.
Yeah.
Like, where do you start Silver Surfer?
Yeah.
You know? It's
like
very overwhelming.
It is. It's overwhelming for a lot of new people who want to enjoy it too. But it's like, at this point, just read a fucking like a wiki on it and then just jump in wherever the hell. Because at that point, you're fucked. I will say, I'm fucking over superhero shit. I really am. I cannot get into it anymore. We had a good fucking like 15 years of back to back superhero shit, and I can't get into it anymore. I don't care anymore.
I like comics, but I read stuff that's more from like Image, you know? Like I don't really read like superhero comics. I guess I read like more anti-hero, like Watchmen. I've read Watchmen cover to cover and like all the little spin-offs and that shit I like. So I don't really read I like Batman in a general sense, but I've never read them. I just watch like the animated series and stuff like that, all the movies. But and Marvel, it's just like I don't know, man. I don't have commitment like that in me.
I think it's just a whole, we had so many years of the big AAA movies were superhero movies. And it just became, for me, it became too much in a sense of like, man, I want to watch other stuff. Like I want to watch horror movies in the movie theater. I want to watch, mysteries and suspense. I'm over people always having these superhuman powers to do shit. And here's Thor 2. And all of a sudden he's a comedian. Like I can't.
There,
God, I hated that movie.
there is kind of especially with the Marvel movies, like they did kind of do that weird shift too, where it's like suddenly like everyone's quippy, like everyone's sarcastic, everyone's got like the perfect little zingers to say, and you're like, Hawkeye, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I want to say it was probably the first Avengers. I actually don't know, but all I remember is being in the theater and seeing Doctor Strange. He like opens up a portal and he says something fucking stupid, and I was like, oh my God, I'm stuck here for 3 hours. Like I can't. Yeah. I was like, fucking hell, I'm so done.
With that too, it is kind of one of those things. Like they also fell into like. Again, I as someone who does enjoy these movies, they did fall into that whole like you get too close to characters being too similar. Like, okay, so both Iron Man and Doctor Strange are played by like handsome billionaire in real life and in the movie. There's these handsome aristocrat billionaire playboys, and then they're assholes. Then they get powers.
Yeah.
And they're just still like, it's just like they're the same character. Like Tony Stark is the same character as fucking Stephen Strange. Or not, is it Stephen? I don't fucking know. Probably Stephen. Remember. But Doctor Strange.
Whatever.
We look like a Steve.
They're the same character overall, like Steve. So then when they interact with each other, you're kind of like, this is like talking to a mirror. Yeah. Like it's a little weird. Even their hair is a little, they even got the same facial hair. Like it's a little too much. I mean, I do think a big solution to the whole like, okay, how do you introduce an audience, a new audience to this IP? Just either don't have everything fucking linked together, like Elder Scrolls, or it's all told like in lore and shit. It's hundreds of years apart. Even Fallout, like they're all take place in different parts of the country. So like some are in California. Is like a lot of them are in California, but like they're all in different parts of the country, so it's fine. Or just stop making sequels to everything.
Yeah. They're really running it into the ground at this point.
The thing is just a sequel. Yeah.
Like, because then it's always going to be that a little divisive, especially with video games, where like you want like, okay, I'm jumping into the sequel, I know what to do, but at the same time, because it's a sequel to a video game, they also got to strip me naked and take away all my items, and they got to write that into the story somehow.
Yeah.
What, like you're playing fucking Ninja Gaiden 2. What happened to all the items that I had in Ninja Gaiden 1? Okay, well they're gone now. Why?
Because you're broke.
Because we don't know how to write a story.
Because you're broke.
Because you lost all your shit in a really terrible stock market crash.
They did that in Kingdom Hearts twice. Literally at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, it's like, okay, well, you got all this power, and then like they're like, oh shit, next game happens, Sora loses all his memories. Well, okay, put him in a pod. And in this pod, they put him in a pod. So in the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, you find Sora, and he's in a pod. And he's like, got all his memories back, but whoops, he lost all of his abilities. And then like, by the time Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, 14 years later, they're like, hey man, remember that?
A little resentment in your voice.
Remember that 3DS game that came out? Oh yeah, Sora fucked up in that too. So we got to put him in a pod again. And they didn't really put him, but they put him in a metaphysical pod this time. So then,
put him in the pod.
Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, and Sora's like, "Aw shucks, I'm a weak ass again." And they basically say like, they just keep making him weak because they don't know how to write a story cohesively without going, okay, you got to earn all this shit back again. So it's like, maybe if you just made a story and didn't make a million fucking sequels, then you wouldn't have to worry about like nerfing your own characters and doing all this bullshit. Just,
and make it make sense. Yeah.
It really does come down to like just burrowing things, like digging things into the ground until you're just tired of it. Like, I would love to play a new game that's not fucking the same story forever.
Yeah.
Like,
I would like to see new IPs in general in film and in video games.
I would like them to stop bringing back shit from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Make new fucking content. Especially in the film industry. Stop bringing this shit back. I don't need to see Frankenweenie for the third time. I want to see new horror movies. I don't need to see this remake. I don't need to see this. Stop bringing back all these new romantic comedies where like we've already seen it before, but now it's got Kevin Hart in it. But like stop doing this shit. Make new fucking shit because they could easily pull this. They could easily pull this by just like going out and getting like these younger authors and stuff because let's face it, they're pulling it from fucking books anyway.
Yeah.
Almost always they're pulling it from books. Go get that new content from over there and stop like, oh, well, if we remake the Dirty Dozen like 1,000 times.
The Dirty Dozen.
I was thinking about like.
Cheaper by the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking of. Well, I don't know why I said Dirty Dozen, but cheaper by the dozen like 9 times.
Yeah.
Or
a Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday.
Yeah. And that's
Steve Martin is tired.
Shit like that.
And that's the thing too, is like now we're hitting that weird point. Like, so for a while they were like remaking like everything from the 80s they're gonna remake now, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, it is 2021 and they're like, let's remake some shit from 2000s. Like that's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like that's 20 years ago, but like that's not that long ago. So these movies are you can still watch a movie from the 2000s. Like if they fucking touch Lord of the Rings, I'm gonna shit. Like that, like.
Will you shit?
I will shit. That whole trilogy is literally perfect as it is. Don't fucking touch it.
I think the biggest difference here is that for instance, Freaky Friday, right? That first one came out in like the 70s, the 60s, 70s, something like that. And then they remade it in the 90s or early 2000s.
2000s because it was Lindsay Lohan.
So that's a huge gap, not only in time but also in technology, right? So it completely looked different. But now they're taking shit, like you said, from 10 years
from
ago,
the 2000s,
20 years ago, and it has changed. And a little bit of quality, but not so drastically. Like, these actors are still alive.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And they're playing themselves again. Paul Reiser, please,
digital is digital,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
From the 2000s into now, like it's everything switched over to digital. So there isn't that much of a quality jump besides 4K and 8K and whatever. But most things don't even support that still.
Yeah.
So does it make a difference?
Yeah.
It's definitely that is a big thing too. Yeah, like okay, you remake the Parent Trap. Okay, the 60s Parent Trap is a lot different than the Lindsay Lohan Parent Trap. Like you have the different technology for shooting it, how they split everything. That's fine. But yeah, like there's really not that much difference between the 2000s and now. There just isn't. Like, besides the CG, which is definitely improved a lot, but it's like, even that is like, do we want more CG? Fucking no. Like people miss the fucking practical effects.
Practical effects.
Yeah, like that's why so many 80s horror still live up. They're still so
that's why people really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like it's that those practical effects are timeless. Like it doesn't go, oh god, what the fuck is that?
There were so many movies in the 90s and the 2000s, the early 2000s, where they just had people switch bodies.
Yeah.
And that was like the gag.
And that's the gag.
They had the dad and the son one too.
They had the dad and the son one. They had the mom and the daughter. They had the 2 fucking weird best friends with Ryan Reynolds and what's his name?
Fucking guy from Arrested Development or whatever.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he's been in like literally everything.
Yeah.
He's really good. They have so many of those, and it's like, holy shit, I never realized how many they made.
Because they don't have any fucking ideas. And there was I remember seeing like a study or a story or something about like how every unique story has already been created, which I don't necessarily agree with, but it was like no matter how random you thought it was, you could even trace it back to like that's one of fucking Homer's short stories from Greece. Like there's a lot of things that are like that where it's like no matter how much like it's you can make it about space, but it's still okay, well, it's still like a political drama, so therefore it's this and therefore it's just like this. Everything links back, and
I can see that, but you could still switch it up.
Yeah,
not everyone's analytical like that.
Yeah, exactly. And
some people are stupid.
Yeah. Some people just want to watch Space Cowboys. Goddamn. with.
Some of us just want to watch Jason in space, okay?
Some of us want to watch grumpier old men.
Grumpy old men. They were so grumpy.
It is a weird thing though. Like, and it's kind of a shame because it always comes back. I mean, everything, it always comes back to money and what they think is going to sell, and people will hate watch it, which is just as bad. Like, you're still spending the money to see it. Oh, I just want to see it to make fun of it. Yeah, but you still gave them money, so now they think it's popular, so they're going to do it again.
That's why we got so many fucking Twilight movies.
What actually might be a good remake, just because it's been so long and technology has changed so much? Death Becomes Her might be a good remake.
Oh my god, yes.
That actually might be fire.
You haven't seen it. I love that movie.
I've seen Death Becomes Her, AJ. I watched it like 2 nights ago.
Oh my god, I love this movie. We're watching it. I love it so much. I think it's on fucking Amazon Prime or some shit. I have it on the list.
When is it from?
Early 90s, I think. Maybe late 80s?
Or late 80s. It's old.
Oh my god, I love that movie. I used to watch that so much.
So much. Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Bruce Willis. It's so good.
It's so good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, but doesn't it feel weird to say that, like, yeah, they should remake a movie that has Bruce Willis in it? Like, because he's still alive, you know?
Yeah.
And so is Goldie Hawn.
That's true.
And so is Goldie Hawn. You know? And it's even weirder when they remake the movies and then the original actor, like, fucking is a cameo in it now. And you're like...
that I hate.
I hate that.
That's gross. Just leave it alone. Don't have anything to do with it.
I hate it. Yeah. It's just... Man, we went on a tangent there.
Yeah. This is your fault.
Maybe we should have gone for the original question of anything new. It's my own fault. I got
this
excited.
week's podcast.
Yeah.
Everyone sucks here.
If you guys didn't catch the minisode, that is a whole episode that you should definitely listen to.
Wild ride.
Wild ride. One of the more ridiculous ones that we've ever had for a minisode. But I guess we should probably go ahead and do our stories here.
Yeah.
Now that we've rambled on about movies and video games, and when are we going to start our movie video game podcast?
I love when you pull up your stories because it's almost always removed.
I know.
Every
That's
fucking time.
That's why I screenshot them. That's why I screenshot them.
Every time AJ's are always gone.
I don't know what it is about mine that just fucking get rid of, but
you'd think his would be the worst ones, and there never are.
I know, but but apparently Reddit thinks they are. That's the dumb thing. Like what we deem as bad versus what Reddit mods deem as bad are completely different things. Like, just give us something to read.
And we'll never know what their rhyme or reason is because like it's their thing, you know. Like they just remove things sometimes.
I do wish they'd like put like it was removed by a moderator. Well, that's the thing too. If you're making a board. And you're removing people's content, wouldn't you want to say it was removed because of this? That way people can go, oh, I won't do that in the future. Like, wouldn't you want to let people know?
Yeah, but it's also the internet, and also they do it anyway.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter. Like, you're trying to. But they also, you have set rules for a fucking reason.
But they also remove things too because if people get out of control in the comments, they'll just straight up remove it.
Then just turn off.
It's true. But just turn off the comments.
I know you would think just turn off the comments, but
you can. Yeah.
Whatever.
So
I don't know.
Regardless, Reddit moderators are stupid. So that's what we're getting at. Who knows
how many there are? Because we're looking in very popular subreddits. Because there could be like 30 people, and someone's just like, "I'm in a bad mood today. Delete." Who knows?
So who wants to go first here? Sam, yours is pretty short.
Yeah, but I just went.
And you went for a long time. Sushi, I got one. It got edited and it's got a little bit longer. It looks like. So I mean, I can start it off if you want.
You want to be like the middle? Or you want to be first? I don't know.
I got pulled up. I can just go here real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go.
Am I the asshole for telling my roommate's girlfriend that she's not woke if she's wrong? This is.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, so I had to point this out. There's an advertisement on the right side of this right now, and it's for Legends of the Hidden Temple leggings.
Oh my god.
Olmec.
Just big old Olmec on your booty cheeks.
So that's a thing.
Oh my god.
That sends a message.
Okay? Oh shit. I can't hold you up. Sam just fell out of her fucking chair.
It was so funny. She fell right out of her seat.
Jesus Christ. Like you pulled me down. It's like my cord got caught on your mixer and I'm trying to hold you up.
Anything can happen on the
Don't
Everyone's
lean.
Self-Care podcast.
Like,
And she fucking immediately leans again. Stop fucking leaning.
I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm good.
Oh my God. Okay. So this one had a big old edit that wasn't here when I first read it. So that'll be a thing. Husband, 28 male, and I, 25 female, are ethnically Chinese from a Southeast Asian country living overseas. We rent a house with SO's college friend who moved his girlfriend, Anna, in during lockdown, and she's been with us ever since with the landlord's permission, and she pays her share of bills. They're not Asians, which matters. So, just a weird little thing, but I do think it's funny how like people actually tell their landlord that someone's moving in. Like, I don't know. I don't do that unless you're signing for a lease at the very beginning.
Right.
Anna was initially nice, but started acting very weirdly about a month after she moved in.
Uh-oh.
Telling SO and I that, so there's a whole list here. So 1, telling SO and I that we can practice our, quote, real religion, which apparently is Buddhism, not Christianity, even though SO and I come from Christian families. She even bought incense, which gives me migraines, and a random Buddha statue. We politely explained to her that we're not Buddhists, but she continued to insist and promised that she didn't mind. 2, telling SO and I that we can speak our, quote, real language, because she overheard SO's family talking to us in a mix of English and Cantonese. I explained to her that I can't speak Cantonese. SO can, even though I can understand it. She was, for some reason, really disappointed in me and said that I was throwing my heritage away. This is the whitest fucking woman. You know this is the whitest woman.
It is the whitest woman I've ever heard of.
Plot twist. My own father is only comfortable speaking English.
I love how they put plot twist.
Yeah. 3, buying raw internal organs for SO and I to cook, even though we don't eat those. I told her we don't eat that, not our thing, and she was again disappointed. She told us she read that there were lots of nice recipes and maybe we haven't found the right one to remind us of home. SO told her he's never eaten it ever in his life, and I've never liked it. She was really upset, but had to toss it since no one was going to eat it. Chinese New Year was when things got really weird.
Oh no.
She started
Caucasity. Okay.
She started ordering, quote, decorations. I wouldn't mind, but she had ordered hell notes, the ones burned for deceased ancestors. I immediately told her to stop pasting them all over the walls because they were weirding me out. She ordered banners with SO and my name on it, some bastardization of our legal English names, but they were written in white banners, again, for deceased people. I told her to please take it down. She got upset again, but then ordered kabuki masks. I told her that those masks were not Chinese, and she just snapped. She started yelling at me that I should be helping her, not critiquing what she was doing. I told her, "You're racist." That's me saying that.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you shouldn't be doing it because it's not your fucking background.
1, she never asked. 2, Chinese New Year is not a big deal for me, so I wasn't planning on decorating, but if she had asked, I would have helped. 3, she never asked. I told her I don't understand her fixation with us. She said she wanted to surprise me and SO that we've been so, quote, colonized. We've forgotten our roots and that we should be embracing our culture.
I'm sorry, are you my mother?
I told her it was a nice gesture, but she needs to stop forcing stereotypes down our throats. Especially if you don't even fucking get the stereotype right. Fucking kabuki is Japanese. Like, that's not it.
And they don't like each other. Fun fact.
Yeah.
That's not fun. That's not a great thing to bring up.
She could have just asked, and she's not being woke when she gets everything wrong. Like this is the same this is the senators fucking wearing the fucking Kwanzaa shit and taking in. That's what this is.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah.
This is fucking Nancy Pelosi wearing her fucking Kwanzaa sash and like taking a knee. But you know, like, oh, this is a black person thing, right? This is what they do.
Yeah.
Like that's what this is.
I almost forgot about that.
I'm sorry I reminded you. I'm sorry I reminded anybody about that fucking atrocity.
This is so angry. Like, oh my God.
Sorry to derail, but didn't they take a knee in it too?
That's what I'm saying. They took a knee. They all wore Kwanzaa sashes, a bunch of white ass fucking old senators, and they took a fucking knee.
That's what
So not only are they doing like the fucking Colin Kaepernick thing, that they also were probably like, how dare he take a knee during I guarantee they were probably
so
like,
disrespectful to the flag.
But then they fucking go, oh, black people, they must all celebrate Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
You know they don't know the difference between a fucking like African and a Haitian. They're like, they all celebrate Kwanzaa, right? Like, that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is her going, oh, Kabuki, here you go. You know, she fucking comes out.
This woman definitely is seeing not even just like all Asians as a monolith, but like all Chinese people as a monolith.
Yes,
It's like
yes.
it's a very industrialized nation. It's not at all weird or surprising that they speak English and have English, Western names and like it's China. It's the world leader. Like they're very industrialized, very Western. And it's not strange. It's not.
So she says she burst into tears, of course she did, and brought in her boyfriend. He understood where I was coming from, but thought I could have been nicer. SO stands by me and now things have been tense, but I've been tolerating this for a while and it was getting on my nerves. So there are some edits here.
Okay.
Says, just to clarify, just some clarifications to clear the air. 1, why did I write this post? I faced many Annas in my life, and my comments about how it's inappropriate have always been shut down, i.e. you're too sensitive, / they're just trying to be nice, / you're not being welcoming by others, and I bet they're all white. And other similar situations, it's confusing / distressing, but I feel like Anna really hit my limit, and I wanted to make sure that I'm not the asshole. Okay. 2, is Anna white? She's of a mixed heritage, Caucasian and African American. I personally feel like it added another sensitive layer to this entire mix and indirectly goes back to the point above. So there's even less of an excuse for her to be like this because she should know how heritage and all this works. But okay.
Right.
3, did I talk to her about this entire thing? I moved out of Southeast Asia to get rid of that you're not Chinese enough mentality. I faced that from my own countrymen multiple times, and I don't celebrate Lunar New Year. Thanks to those who recommended that term. Outside of my home country, for personal reasons, my family sucks, and I don't have good memories attached to that holiday. I didn't think I would need to justify defending myself again. As for separate incidences, not really, and that's my fault. I just told her, don't do that again because I don't like it. I should have explained to her why and I accept the responsibility for that. 4, how did she confuse kabuki mask and think hell notes were decoration? Based on what her boyfriend said, she went to some Chinese website that sells everything and the translation was wacky and she just thought it was all the same. So she didn't do any fucking research.
Exactly.
So
Right.
That's her own fucking fault. 5,
Yeah.
the entire organ meat incident. She didn't expect me and SO to eat them raw. She expected SO not to cook it because she's seen me cook some herbal soup before. Yeah, because herbal soup, they must love eating fucking liver.
Non-head organ meat though.
Yeah. Like, so, okay, and immedially not the asshole.
No, not at all.
No.
This shit is infuriating because you know that this is the same. Okay, this is the same type of woman who gets into an Uber and berates the guy for fucking cultural appropriation because he's got like a hula dancer fucking bobblehead on his dashboard. You know, the whole ride, he's just fucking gritting his teeth and she goes, that's cultural appropriation. And she's the and he's like, I'm just trying to get you to fucking 175th Street. Shut the, like the whole time.
This lady came into the house with like a copy of Joy Luck Club under her arm.
It could literally, yeah, it could literally be someone who's like,
ready.
Joy Luck Club.
It's literally.
She was like, my research.
Honestly, when you were talking about the language thing, I was really hoping she would be like, "Man, I just don't understand why you guys don't speak Cantonese." And then they were like, "We speak Mandarin." Like,
Yeah.
I really wanted that to happen. Oh my fucking God. Okay, look. I'm sorry that your feelings are hurt, but I don't care.
I'm not sorry your feelings are hurt, because sometimes you deserve to have your fucking feelings hurt, because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
The thing,
and you're racist.
The thing is, this woman should not feel like the asshole at all, because, okay, the first incident happened, which I don't remember which one it was, and she corrected her. But it was the religion thing. Oh, it's okay if you practice your real religion. I'm telling you right now, we're Christian. We're Christian. Like, what?
Right.
And the fact that she didn't say, okay, understood, she was like, oh.
No, but you secretly.
But secretly, it's okay. I'm really all right with this. Here's some incense. Like, I
this
cannot.
This is some fucking, like.
Who goes out and buys that shit and then gives it to you?
This is, it's okay. I swear to fucking God, what's so infuriating about this is, I feel like it's a conversation that we've been having for a very long time, and it's been getting vocalized even more so in the last like decade or so. But like the vast majority that people of color are saying to white people is literally, just listen to us. And instead, she's like saying, I know better.
Yeah.
And that's what's so, like, she's literally saying, like, this all would have been avoided if she's like, no, we're Christian. Oh, okay. Yeah, believe it or not, there are a lot of Christians that are also Asians.
Speaking of colonization.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, colonization happened, is happening, but our real religion is still Christianity.
Yeah, like it doesn't like that doesn't change, like that whole like term,
we don't like how we got here, but we're here now. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I hate that whole term of like that whole thing of like, oh, you've been so colonized. Like, no, okay, first of all, she was just raised Christian. Like it wasn't like she wasn't fucking alive in the fucking 1700s when the English were going over there and forcing them to be fucking Christian. That's just how she was raised, by her fucking Christian family. Like, yeah, if you want to go back to generations, yeah, they were like, colonization happened. But like, if she's happy being Christian, fucking who gives a shit? You're not freeing you're not taking off the shackles of her. Like,
this poor
like, oh, in front of me, it's okay.
Yeah.
This poor couple who left Southeast Asia because they were told by their own country that they weren't Chinese enough to only come to this to what I assume is the States to be told they're not Chinese enough by their fucking roommate Anna. Like,
yeah, Anna.
Yeah, Anna.
This is like, you're not woke, you're racist.
Yes.
And it's
some people try so hard to be woke that they don't understand that they're being insensitive and racist by trying to be so woke. It's like, but you're actually not listening, and you're not doing any of the things that the people that are marginalized are asking you to do.
It's
oh God.
And then she took it as criticism instead of correction.
Yes.
We're not. You were not being criticized. You were being told that you were wrong, because you were. You were literally putting up posters with your roommates' names on deceased people's banners. Are
bastardized versions of their names, like.
Because you could not be bothered to do just a little bit more research.
Yeah. And like, they even say, like, their names, they have, like, English names.
Yes.
So for all we know, this is fucking Nicole and Tom. And she's like, Nicole-san. And you're like, that's still not Chinese,
No.
She did some bullshit, like.
And that's.
I hate it here. We're just let people vibe, man.
Like, it's such a weird mindset, because it's like, I feel like for all these different generations of racists that we've had throughout like our history, there's always people who are like, they think they're doing right, but then they're fucking wrong. It's like the plantation owners who you'd hear the stories, like, which I always, growing up in school, you always hear about this shit, like, because they don't teach you the fucking real part of it. They always teach you like, oh yeah, a lot of them, like, they cared a lot for their slaves, you know, and a lot of times they'd even give them outdoors time, you know, like, and you're like, okay, but that's not right. You're glossing over everything here, and it's like you don't get to just think that because you're not as terrible as this person, you're still fucking terrible. And that's like the same shit here. It's like, okay, so you're a different type of racist. You're not like, oh, like I'm gonna attack you for being racist, but you're also but in a way you are. You're emotionally and mentally berating them.
She's so in tune with the stereotypes of everything that she's that type of racist in a stereotype sense. She's like so like, okay, well you're from China, so you must be one of them Buddhists.
Yeah, and it's just
what the fuck?
It's
I don't need this statue. Get this kitschy shit out of here.
It's just so fucking...
I just can't imagine. Can you imagine someone coming over and handing you a cross and going, "Here you go."
No, this is really a religion.
No, you can really practice. It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, Christians have done that shit.
I'm one of the cool ones.
Yeah.
I'm one of them cool ones.
Like I just imagine this OP like wearing like a fucking like wearing like a little cross as a necklace or whatever, and fucking Anna comes over and she rips it off her neck and she winks and she goes, "Don't worry,
I won't tell anyone
around." You know, like around me, you don't have to wear this oppression. Like
I just like to picture Anna as like this like overly hippie chick with like curly red hair.
Well, we know she's mixed, so but it's hard to not think of her as just the whitest woman ever. Which
right.
That
was wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
well, I kind of have a similar story.
Oh,
it's the only story that it's not the same one, but it's in you know.
Okay.
It's told from her perspective.
Am I the asshole because I bought my roommates a kabuki mask?
Because I bought my Chinese roommates a kabuki mask.
Oh my god! I was just trying to be sensitive to their real religion. They didn't accept me. Am I the asshole? God. Imagine. Oh my god. Okay. Am I the asshole for refusing when my husband told me to stop speaking my original language in front of our son?
Quick question. How is it that we always stumble across women that somehow manage to marry a racist and not know it until after they've had a baby?
Oh, they know it.
But like,
I think they know. I think they're in denial.
Yeah.
But I've noticed it's a lot more common with like, it's always like the dude who's like, it's never a guy's like, man, I just found out my wife is a racist. You know, like it's very, not saying that doesn't happen, but it's very rare that we always find
women are conditioned to think that they're overreacting.
Yes.
Always.
Which is why we see a lot of Am I the Asshole posts where it's like, Am I really the asshole because I told my stalker who's been stalking me for 10 years
back off
that his beard is a little unshaven? Like,
right, exactly.
Am I
it's
really,
like, ma'am, no,
asshole?
call the police.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. And also in a situation where it's most likely a white dude marrying a woman who is of any other ethnicity besides white.
Correct.
They usually have no fucking problem being racist.
It's like that guy who's wearing the fucking Camp Auschwitz shirt who has a black wife with a black child.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
dude,
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I'm like...
I've seen it a lot. It is very sad, and I wish I could just fucking save all of these women. I really could.
I know.
I really wish I could.
Like it is what you in your heart, that weird feeling that you have, that feeling. You're feeling it. It's real. They're racist, and you had a child with them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. It's just something I noticed.
No,
that,
I get it. I get it. Yeah, but that's why though, because and then like even if they have, I don't know, the chutzpah to be like that was inappropriate. It's often gaslit.
Yeah.
And like, you're overreacting. I didn't mean it that way. Or,
you're just being too sensitive. It was a joke.
Yeah. It's just a joke. A lot of that. It's just a joke. It's like, it's not just a joke, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, make us mad.
It does happen a lot.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get more mad.
Okay. I'm 28, female from Asia. My husband, male, 33, is Canadian. We've been married for 3 years. We have a 1.5-year-old son. He has a habit of repeating everything we say, which is a great learning method for him. He's very smart and pays good attention to every word he hears, and also has a great memory. I have family in Asia, so I tend to speak my own language, Persian, at home whenever I'm talking with them on the phone.
Okay.
Sorry. My son has picked up a few words I said, and he sounds really funny when he's trying to say them because they're difficult to say. Anyway, my husband came home and told me to listen to what our son was trying to say. He looked at me confused and looked upset. I asked him what's wrong, and he told me what I was doing was wrong, that I shouldn't try to teach our son this language without telling him first. But it wasn't that it just happened. When I told him that, it's grammatically a little all over the place. When I told him that, he argued that I should stop speaking like that at home then. I was shocked. I asked if he was serious, and he went on about how I'm acting selfish by objecting to his decision, but I told him I'm free to speak however I want, plus he had no issues with that in the past. I didn't see any harm in this. He argued for nearly an hour, telling me that I needed to watch everything I say whenever I'm near my son. I called him ridiculous for asking me something like that, and that he didn't like that I refused to quit speaking with my original language. He went out to meet my son's some friends, and then sent me a text talking about our argument and how much I hurt his feelings by calling him ridiculous and lashing out like that. I didn't reply because I needed to calm down before I talked to him, but his text kept coming in, basically blaming me for starting an argument and refusing to understand his point. I don't think
she started the argument?
What point? She's thinking about it. I don't think he's being reasonable here. Maybe I don't see the negativity of that, or whether he's overreacting. He's very much overreacting. He's giving very racist vibes. How do you marry a whole Persian woman and then you're upset?
The exotic fantasy.
The brown woman exotic. Ugh, God, I hate it.
Yep. It's all, ooh, baby, speak to me in that language I love, until you have a child and you teach it to speak. Essentially, this is our son learned a language and is going to be super fucking smart because he's going to learn more than one language. But I'm not going to be able to communicate. Why? Why do you think? Why not?
Because they don't want to learn the language themselves.
Because you don't want to learn either.
Well, that's a him problem. Go get yourself a Rosetta Stone.
Exactly. That is a you problem. That's a you problem.
I could not even imagine trying to justify to my partner of why you can't and shouldn't teach our child their language. They are also part of that ethnicity and race. Like, that is part of them, and they have every right to learn about their heritage.
Yep.
So, bruh.
Yep. And also, not only
his decision, what?
Not only are you preparing your child for a wonderful fucking life by teaching them more than one fucking language, but there are so many other things that really up their education when they're that young and they learn different languages. Like, they really open up their fucking little teeny tiny brains for that shit.
It's so much easier to learn more languages and just get more concepts.
The gaslighting on this whole, you started this argument.
The gaslighting is wild. They're like blaming the wife for the argument. It's like, no, you are objecting a very strange thing.
His decision. Are you fucking kidding me?
His decision. Don't you talk that brown language in here? What?
So I didn't realize that this wasn't a equal relationship here. Probably wouldn't have fucking continued this had I known that you were gonna freak out about our son learning a different fucking language.
Also, I'm really curious. Not that they're thinking this far ahead, because of course they're not thinking. But how do these dudes think this is gonna go? Right? Say they argue about this. He brings it up. And it leads to them going, you know what? Fine. Okay. Well, I'm getting a divorce and I'm still going to teach my son this language. But now he's gonna be able to say it without you knowing it at all, because you're not gonna learn shit. You know, like
you're not gonna pick up on anything, and we're all just gonna talk shit.
They're not. It's not like, because at no point in time is it gonna be like, oh, you divorced me, and then the guy gets to keep. It's not gonna happen. You know, like so. Regardless, this kid's gonna learn another language, whether you like it or not. So what's your end goal here?
And not only that, we're moving back to Iran.
Right?
Fuck out of here.
Guess where I have dual citizenship. Guess where I have citizenship at and you don't.
We're gonna move to Iran and speak only fucking Persian. So
why can't he just fucking say how he really feels, which is probably, I don't like the fact that I won't be able to communicate with him. It's not like he's not going to learn fucking English too.
On top of which,
exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, what needs to happen, or what any fucking normal human being should do, would be he should learn the language. I mean, I'm sure his wife can help teach him.
Hell, they can both learn at the same time.
Well, no, I mean, I think it'd be better if he just learned the language with the wife. That way, when that kid becomes an annoying little teenager and thinks he can backtalk in fucking Persian, the dad's like, I understand everything you're saying. Your mom taught me 25 years ago. You know, like, bam, we gotta. We're in this together now. You can't, you know, like, but like it's like, work with your wife. You know, like, it's, how hard is this? Like, God, it's just so dumb.
I feel so bad for when we get these posts from women who it is quite obviously like, you're not the asshole in this situation.
No, but it's ridiculous that you're asking me if you're the asshole because I want to fight your husband.
Yeah, but they have such a self-doubt in this situation. Like, am I really am I the fucking asshole here? Because did I overreact? Did I overreact in this situation because I called him ridiculous, but he called me racial terms? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
For me,
my God.
It's really the gaslighting. Like, when he went out with his friends and started gaslighting her via text, saying like, she was refusing to see his point, and you know, he's laying down the law. Like, what, sir? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How dare you go out with your friends and then continue the fight in text?
And you know, he was fucking like at an Applebee's eating wings and getting drunk and talking to his stupid friends, and they were agreeing with him. And that's, oh God.
No, and especially this type of fight, like, if we're going to argue like this, if we're going to argue about something absolutely ridiculous like this, you're not going out with your friends. You're going to stay here and we're going to talk about this shit. We're going to figure this out. And don't continue that fight with me while you're out with your friends.
Yeah.
If you're going to go out with your friends, then that means that you're going to go off and cool down or talk to somebody else about how, like, ridiculous you're being. But you're not going to fucking continue the conversation like that in a text. That's not going to happen.
What are the comments on this?
No.
What are the comments on this one?
You know, it's gaslighting. They're not the asshole.
Did she have any more comments? Like, hey, you know, I'm going to fucking dump his ass and go back to Iran. Like,
I don't think so.
'cause that's what she needs to do.
Yeah.
I know. Like, you need to just run away.
Damn.
That sucks.
Divorce him and run away. Yeah, the, like, his decision part is really sending me. It's his decision. Excuse me?
Yeah, that
I made the baby.
and that she started the argument.
Uh-huh.
She was probably just minding her own fucking business, watching Gilmore Girls, and all of a sudden this asshole comes out of nowhere and like, I don't understand what he's saying.
I don't either. He's a fucking baby.
Yeah. The xenophobia is very loud in this particular post, but it's like, why did you marry?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't get it.
I don't understand why white men love fucking marrying brown women and then they're racist. I don't get it. Well, that was my story. You're welcome.
Okay.
Where are we at on yours?
Mine is not quite like that. It's actually pretty tame compared to these two. It might not make you as angry. Okay. Am I the asshole for lying to my sister-in-law about our wedding date? This happened in 2018. My 32 female husband, 32 male, his sister, 30 female, is really dramatic and self-centered. She has a bad reputation of making others' weddings all about herself. She tried to give a drunken maid of honor speech when she wasn't the maid of honor at one wedding. She wore a long white dress that looked like a wedding dress to another. My husband and I think it has something to do with her resentment over not being married. But regardless, my wedding day was very important to me, so I didn't want her to ruin it. I couldn't uninvite her because my husband and I would have gotten in a lot of trouble with his family. So my husband and I hatched a plan. We made all of the normal wedding invitations that said the real date of the wedding, May 3rd, but we made one invitation that said May 6th and sent it to her. She doesn't talk much with my husband's other relatives, so she never realized the date was wrong. She didn't come to the wedding because she had the wrong date, and the wedding went really smoothly. After the wedding, we asked her why she didn't come. She swore it was on May 6th, but she'd thrown her invitation away, so she had no proof. Basically, we made sure that she didn't come to the wedding, and it was a good thing, too, because she attended my husband's cousin's wedding in 2019, stumbled into the cake, and destroyed it for attention. I don't regret keeping the wedding date a secret from her, but my husband feels really bad because she's his sister. He wants to come clean to her, but I told him that would only make things worse. Am I the asshole?
It's been 3 years. Who cares?
I think this is something you have to take to the grave.
Okay, so
we all have to die with the secret now.
I find that interesting because that is exactly what one of the comments was that, first of all, the fact that no one told her the correct date, she didn't talk to anybody and no one corrected her at all, means that everybody was pretty much in agreement that she should not go to this wedding, right? So This is literally something that you take to the grave, and this got a lot of this got a lot of awards. If you're willing to do it, and I agree it was the right move, you have to take it to the grave, because if you tell her for the first time in her life she is not the one who started it, do you know what an opportunity you would be giving to a narcissist like this? Instead of her sabotaging and deliberately hurting others, you did it to her. So therefore, she would be justified in going after you. Someone like that will make your life's hell until the end of time. She will mess with your kids. She will mess with you, and you will regret opening your mouth. The fact that no one in your extended family mentioned it to her means that people agreed with you and were trying to help. If your husband opens his mouth now, you're both going to regret it. And I
agree.
Fully agree with this comment.
Yeah.
Take this shit to the grave. Do not fucking correct her.
Don't correct her. You already did it. Like, telling them now, it's not going to help anything. It's just going to make it worse.
I find it interesting that Reddit says everyone sucks for this.
Well, everyone does suck.
Yeah.
Because they did. That's a bad lie. Like, your relative is so shitty that you don't want to invite them to your wedding, but you don't want to not invite them. Like, that sucks too.
I guess I think it's one of those things, like, I always kind of view this kind of stuff, and, like, I don't understand this whole, like, idea of, like, being so scared of a fucking relative, your fucking sister, that you can't just be honest. Like, because, like, the thing is, I'm like, you know what? You didn't get an invitation. You're not coming. Before the wedding happened.
Well, we're like that. Yeah. We're very like, it is what it is. Don't fucking cry about it.
Come up.
Like,
you're not coming.
It's not that serious.
And if you come up,
we're like
I will have security remove you, because look, you have a history of fucking up weddings and you're not fucking up mine. The end. You know, like.
Yeah.
And like,
right. But we're here in Planet Reality. Like, but I think most people, I don't know, they just aren't. They're not built like us, AJ.
They go for these like weird roundabout fucking. The Home Alone antics.
They make their lives into sitcoms. Like, it could be so much easier.
So I've only been to a couple of weddings, right? And it's not something that I give a fuck about. Like, I've never been like, oh man, I can't wait to go to your wedding. I can't wait to see you get married. I don't give a fuck.
If that comes out of my mouth, I'm lying.
Right? So it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, this is like, I can't imagine someone being so resentful that they make someone else's party about them. This is like going to a birthday party and everybody's celebrating this dude or this chick.
The kid opening presents. Well, don't get presents because it's not your birthday.
Yeah, it's not your birthday. Today is literally not about you whatsoever, Mom. This is not about you today. So this whole like, oh, she gave a drunken speech. She wore a long white wedding dress. She stumbled into the cake and destroyed it. What are you doing? You have a reputation at weddings now. Like, you need to chill the fuck out.
And how has none of the family been like, you're fucking terrible. You're going to stop coming to these things.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely just take that shit to the grave, though.
Do you think people hire her to ruin weddings?
That could be a good job for her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be a good job for me.
You know what? Yeah.
So they have these women that you can hire to be your like maid of honor, right? Mm-hmm. I bet you can hire people to ruin a wedding.
Your rival
or like
of honor.
pretend object to
The
it. Like, no, I object.
Yeah.
I don't stand for this wedding. I'm in love with both of them.
The
Like that kind of like for the drama.
Yeah.
The rival of honor.
Oh my God. I love it. If I ever get married, I want an actor to come in right in the 11th hour and be like, no, I object to this wedding. For no reason.
For no reason. And it's like at the reception.
Can I just say,
like, we're cutting the cake. Hello?
I've only been to a couple of weddings myself, but at no point in time have they ever said, does anyone here object? They don't do that shit.
They don't do it anymore,
They don't
really.
do that.
They really don't
Every
do it
movie
anymore.
always does that shit. They don't fucking do that. Like,
So the most that I've ever heard is, does anyone object? Of course they don't. Like, they really just move right through it.
Right.
I've never even heard that.
No,
They don't even do it.
I've heard that. I've heard that before. But and here's the thing too is like, say you go to like a court wedding, right? You have a witness, but usually that witness is hired by the court. Like it's a professional witness, like the secretary like sits there, right? You know, so like. That person doesn't fucking know you, so they don't even say that. Does anybody object to this? Well, no one's here. Like, I don't know Betty over there, and she don't know me, so she's probably not going to object.
I have a funny story about being a witness in a wedding.
Oh,
so like
shit.
long ages and ages ago in a galaxy far, far away with my ex, his brother and sister-in-law were getting married, but they were going to go to City Hall first and then have like a ceremony later. So they didn't look into it at all, which was like a reoccurring problem in our dynamic. They didn't do a fucking lick of research. They're like, no, okay, you guys have to wake up at the ass crack of dawn and get down to fucking Jamaica, Queens, and go to the courthouse with them at like 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever. And apparently you have to make an appointment. And they didn't look into it at all. So I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm not a morning bitch. I hate the mornings. Don't wake me up. I'm still mad sick. I'm all hot and bothered thinking about it. So I had to wake up. It's still after bartending, I'm sure. I probably closed the bar. Woke up after 45 minutes. Had to put on like good pants to go to the hood. To go to the hood courthouse in Jamaica, Queens. For literally no fucking reason. To be a non-witness in a wedding that
did not happen.
Did not happen.
Oh my God.
Because you have to make an appointment, and they didn't look into it. They just thought you could just stroll in like,
all right, we're ready. This isn't Las Vegas. Do you see Elvis?
Can't get married at the Taco Bell.
At the Taco Bell.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Oh,
I think I might have taken off of work. I don't know. There was like shit I had to do. Like, why me, God? Why me? What did I do to you?
No one ever wants me to be a witness. Thank God. Don't invite me to your wedding. Don't invite me to your baby shower. I don't
if you
care.
invite me, I'll go and I'll be respectful. I'm certainly not going to fall into the cake. But like, do I want to go? No.
Weddings are boring. Who gives a fuck?
No one wants to go. No one wants to go. No one gives a shit.
I don't want dry chicken. Okay?
I don't think I've ever been to a wedding that there was food. I will say that. It's always really quick. The ones I've been to, it's always been really quick. And, like, the reception is normally, like, just cake. You know what I mean? Like, they do the cake. Or there's something to drink. But there's never, like, a sit-down, let's have dinner kind of thing. I've never been to a wedding like that. I just can't. I can't imagine. Like, I've never been to a wedding where I got an invitation that said, "Do you want fucking steak or fish?" You know, like.
Really? I guess I don't know. We're very like about the way you're supposed to do it here, you know?
Sushi.
I'm not against like weddings per se, but I am against trying to please anyone else for your own fucking wedding.
Yeah.
You know, like if you want to have a wedding, cool.
Yeah.
But I hate this whole idea. Well, we got to have a vegan option, a vegetarian option, a fish, and I mean, no. You either eat or you don't. I don't care. I'm not, because it's coming out of our pocket. So the more types of food we have to have, if you don't want to come because you can't eat, then either don't eat or don't come. But like,
don't eat or don't come. That's my motto.
Or both, hopefully.
Yeah.
Don't eat and don't come.
Oh, you gotta.
That's my motto.
Make sure you. And they always like, but it's always about pleasing the family. Like, you know, like, oh, you got to make sure that you hide your sister because you're. It's always like the mom. The mom's like, well, you know, your sister.
She hide your sister.
Well, you know, your adopted sister. She's black, and you know, and grandma's she's a little old fashioned, you know. So it's like they always do this bullshit. I'm like, no, I'm gonna have my fucking black adopted sister right here next to me, and fucking old fucking racist grandma. She's not gonna be here, you know. Like,
and you can fuck off.
End of story. Like, I hate this shit of like appeasing other people for your own wedding.
Yeah. What a story.
Yeah.
You know, the easiest part about this is just no more weddings.
Cancel them all.
That too.
If it wasn't such a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I know, right?
God.
Well, what kind of layers of deception do you have for us?
Well. Okay, guys, it's time for another layers of deception where I try to trick AJ.
Yeah, stop.
Because Sam always knows.
But that's because Sam's always falling out of her chair.
I'm sorry.
She wants to lean.
I gotta.
You gotta lean with it. Yeah. All right. So this is a segment where I'm trying to bamboozle my co-hosts into whether this is a real news article from a real website or a headline from the satire website called theonion.com.
Why are you laughing, AJ?
Because she won't stop doing this.
Doing what? The Harlem Shake?
That's how I stretch.
That is. I mean, naturally. Professor gives 2-hour lecture as Twitch streamers, we're really going to resonate with this one. Realizes he was on mute the whole time.
Here's the thing.
Oh, no.
That could very easily be real. Because, I mean, if
we're in the year of the Zoom. Let's see. It could very well be real, but it could also be really funny, too. I'm going to say
be really funny.
It was real for someone.
I'm going to say, I mean, we know it's been real for a lot of people. I think it's real.
I think it's real.
You're correct. It is real.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to switch it up and go for the Onion again. But like that headline was so funny to me that I was like, no, I got to.
It's true. Yeah. It's so relatable.
So relatable.
Right. Yeah. As Twitch streamers, I am constantly muted. Like,
and nobody ever tells you.
And no one ever fucking tells you.
I'm just like looked down, getting pinged a million times. Like, we can't hear. We only hear the gameplay. We can't. You didn't.
Or you play. Or you play for 6 hours with the game audio fucking muted.
And people are like, I thought this is what you were going for. What do you mean?
Where are all the backseaters when you need them?
Fucking silent stream.
Yeah. Where are all the backseaters when you fucking need them?
You mean you really wanted me to put on this fucking cutscene from Metal Gear Solid 4 that's an hour and 45 minutes of silence as they all talk? That's what you guys wanted? Because that's what you just got.
You know, I mean, I didn't want to say anything. Always.
We were being artistic, you asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, or I always forget to go from like my close-up scene to back to the gameplay after something happens.
Oh, yeah.
You're just staring at the game and they're staring at your nostrils.
Yeah.
My face, and I'm like, oh, yeah, someone clipped that. That was such a cool play. And they're like, it's just your face, idiot. And I'm like, oh.
Scene change. Scene change.
Oh my God, that is my life. All right, so this is a real article from PennLive.com. A professor in Singapore realized at the end of a 2-hour lecture that he had been on mute the entire time.
That means that none of his students gave a fuck. They were all like, fuck it, we're not here anyway.
That means we're having a snow day.
They were all fucking doing something else. They were all playing Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, absolutely. They're like, I wasn't listening anyway, so, I was fishing in RuneScape or something.
Finally got that tuna.
The silent treatment was purely accidental. A professor in Singapore realized at the end of an almost 2-hour lecture that he had been talking to his students on mute the entire time. Singapore-based newspaper The Independent states that the National University of Singapore professor was very surprised and a little distressed when he found out that his lesson quite literally fell on deaf ears. A video on YouTube shows Associate Professor of Mathematics Wang Dong ending his lecture by asking his students if they had any questions. It is then that he slowly realized that his students had been trying to inform him that they hadn't been able to hear him at all.
Oh, so
Professor Dong.
What you're telling me is a man spoke for 2 hours uninterrupted and didn't think anything was wrong? That's what I'm hearing.
Right. That's also what I'm hearing.
How much you want to bet that while he was talking, people were like unmuting and they're saying, "Hey, professor," and they were like, and he's like, "Not now, at the end." Like he was doing that shit where he cuts them off and doesn't let them finish. Not now, at the end.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You're right. And
it's
Professor
mathematics.
Dong thus formally concluded the lecture, stating that they would return to the lesson at a later date, this time with the sound on. However, don't think that the students were heartlessly staring at Professor Dong through their computer screens as he taught them in silence. One student, Asuza Chan, claims that they'd all attempted to get Professor Dong's attention to no avail. Students tried all sorts of things to get his attention by unmuting and even calling his phone number, says Chan. And he's like, fucking, why is my phone calling me? I'm teaching you.
No phones in class.
No phones in class. How dare you?
Chewing gum.
They still can't hear him screaming that, though. He's just fucking screaming it to himself.
He's just getting angry and red in the face.
Because not only was he muted, but he had them muted, too.
Probably. The participant count dwindled as time went on, as students could not contact their professor and had no other recourse, continues Chan. What you see here are 20 plus students who waited patiently for the professor to come back. It appears that at the end of the day, though, his students learned no lesson at all. Professor Dong learned a lesson in the fickle nature of online teaching. That's my story, and I thought that was funny.
So I've taken online classes before. I've never had to do like an online session where everybody has to show up for a Zoom meeting. Like I've never done that before. So I feel so bad for anybody who has to do that. Like I can't imagine how absolutely frustrating this is for everyone involved. I know my brother's wife is a professor at a university, and she's having to do classes like this too. And she's just over the fucking roof, stressed out about all this fucking shit.
Yeah. Yikes.
God.
What a weird time we live in.
Right?
What a weird
Why couldn't this
time.
pandemic happen when we were in school?
Right?
No.
Generation Z gets away with everything.
Wear pajamas, eat snacks.
They don't have to fight their bullies, and they get to go to online school.
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
God.
And they don't know the glories of the outside world yet, so they don't miss anything.
Yeah.
Right. Like you couldn't do anything anyway. You're not in the club.
It's like every apocalypse movie ever, where like they were just born into the apocalypse.
Yeah, it's like The Last of Us,
Yeah.
but Zoom calls.
But Zoom calls, yeah, exactly.
The Walking Dead, but for school.
Well, that was, and even though it was real, still good because it's very relatable with everything that's going on now.
Funny.
I saw Sam's title of hers. I think it's an ender on her relationships.
Okay.
Okay.
Since you just read, I'll go and I can go ahead and go through mine here.
Absolutely.
So for my relationships, boyfriend calls me an idiot over a tip. Boyfriend is 23 male.
Here's my tip. Don't be an idiot.
I second that.
So, I'm not going to read the TLDR because it's at the beginning. My 20 female boyfriend, 23 male, works security at a casino, and he came home upset that a person didn't tip him after winning a jackpot when they tipped the people who paid them out. I told him he shouldn't be expecting tips from a person no matter the amount of money they win, and the fact that he does expect someone to pay him for standing there probably isn't the best. He went on saying that one security guard has to leave their post to watch the people who hit jackpots. It messes up the whole system they have going and is, quote, inconvenient for the security guard. I then told him that it's literally his job to protect the person who wins the money, and they aren't aware that they are, quote, messing up the system. Yeah, like, do you know how much of an annoyance it is that I have to do my job now that you won this money? Like,
Right. Like, no one has a manual of how casinos work on them, you know?
My boyfriend then continues to call me an idiot / horrible and many other names simply because I didn't agree with him. He continued to tell me that he, quote, doesn't believe me and thinks I'm lying about my opinion. What? He then belittles me because I tip everyone generously that does a service for me, hair, nails, waitresses, etc. I do because I want a good service next time I go in, or they go above and beyond my expectations. I wouldn't tip someone for standing there. I just don't understand. I've never tipped a security guard, and when I've seen a security guard get tipped, I would be more inclined to tip it, I would be more inclined to tip when they open a door, or they're very kind and they're helpful and they assist when someone is in distress. Anyways, now he's pissed off at me simply because I said not to expect a tip. Yeah, not that I wouldn't expect a tip. I wouldn't. She's got bullshit in here. Wouldn't expect a tip a security guard for standing next to me. I don't know how to proceed. He's gotten genuinely upset with me. What should I do? I'll read the edits in a minute, but.
Well, first of all, your boyfriend called you an idiot for having an opinion. Second of all, this is literally a 23-year-old man who thinks he deserves a tip, probably because he's seen one other security guard get tipped before.
Yeah.
Why not me? Yeah. And this is like the classic when I worked at the bar, right? The fucking busboys, they'd be like, where's my tip? I don't know. Do your fucking job. You're the one getting paid hourly. Well, at least at my bar, they were getting paid hourly. I don't know if that's the usual thing, but you're getting paid hourly. I get tips because I'm making the fucking drinks. I get paid hourly. Like, right. What's the deal here? I'm not going to tip you for that, right? So, like, I never in a million years would think to tip a security guard.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't think that. Someone that's, like, doing a service for me, sure, but, like, a security guard isn't, like, they're secure. Like, that's their job. I don't know.
Also, I feel like in this kind of instance too, I don't think about the security guard working for me, not working for me, but like there to protect me. I feel like he's there protecting the casino,
the money in the casino.
In that instance too, which is like, why would I tip you for protecting the casino? Like the casino's paying you anyway. This, oh my God, this dude.
So
this dude.
We got multiple edits here. It says, "Hi, okay. I would like to add." Hi, I would like to add, as some people are commenting that I made him feel unwanted by saying, quote, just standing there. This is how he has described this particular part of the job to me before. Security isn't a normally tipped job, and the security guards and former casino workers have expressed the same thing. Can't accept tips / don't get tipped.
Okay.
Sorry to disappoint you all, but I'm not going to be so harsh and jump on the dump truck over behavior that isn't typical for him. Our relationship has its flaws, but those are actively being worked on by both of us. I have spoken to him on it, and he apologized to me. There is some insecurities that we have to work out when it comes to money, but he does feel awful for saying those things. He did have a terrible day yesterday, and I can't judge him too harshly for his thoughtless actions, as I have said and done not so outstanding things on bad days myself, and I was forgiven. I'm not going to respond to comments if I've already answered the same question. So yeah, that's basically, she's basically saying, because I'm assuming a lot of comments, it's been removed because of course there are, well, I think I can see the comments.
It was probably the comments.
yeah, most of them were probably saying like you should dump them because of the idiots, because the idiot comments.
So I can see the comments about the just standing there, because no one wants to be really told that their 12-hour day or their 10-hour day is
just standing there.
You're just standing there doing
nice,
nothing.
but also he shouldn't have called her an idiot.
But security guards can't accept tips, and he knows that. So why is he upset that he didn't get tipped today?
Right.
Why are you upset? You can't take tips anyway. Are you getting paid hourly? What the fuck's what's your problem then?
Right. Like, if it happens, that's cool. Like, if someone has a big cash out and they're like, here's $100, kiddo, you know, like, cool, like, take it. But I wouldn't expect it in that type of job.
So I don't agree with the whole like name calling him or him calling her an idiot and all this. But I do kind of agree with this, which is like, why pick a fight with partners merely who want to vent about a work situation? Because I could very easily see him coming home being frustrated. And he's like, I've had just a shitty day, you know, this fucking person, like they won this jackpot, everybody got fucking tipped but me. And I do understand, like, it's like the whole like, you shouldn't get the tip, whatever. But it is kind of weird things. Like, if everybody's getting, you get money, and then like you don't, that's gonna frustrate. Who knows if there was other parts of his day that were bad. But for if someone's frustrated and then your first thing is to correct them and be like, well, you shouldn't expect that anyway. True. That's kind of...
I think Sam and I are together on the same... Like, that's literally what men do to women, though. Like...
But
that's fucking wild. That's bananas to me. I feel like most of the time when women are like, they come home or whatever and they have something to vent about, men... they want to fix it. And that's where a lot of mansplaining comes from. Like, they want to fix it instead of just like taking it as at face value, someone's just frustrated and venting their problems, which I agree with. So that's really interesting that you bring that up, because if roles were reversed and she came home, she's like, oh, this really shitty thing happened, she probably just wants to scream into the ether and have her man take it because no one else is, but he's going to want to go ahead and fix it, which is what she did, right? By saying, like, maybe you're wrong.
This comment even says, I've seen plenty of posts by women complaining that their boyfriends invalidate their emotions when they merely wanted someone to listen and support. This is this is the same situation. And that's just it. It's like, it is a shitty thing to do if someone's like, whether you have an opinion on it or not, it doesn't fucking matter. It's already happened. The day's already over. So just be like, oh, that sucks. I'm sorry that happened.
It's also, I think, it's also one of those things where it's like, sometimes you have to stop for a second and think, is me saying and bringing this up right this very second, like, do I need to do this?
Yeah.
Do I want to start this right this second? You know, because once you start it, you have to end it. You know, like, you can't just let it keep going. You're gonna have to talk about the whole thing. Was it right that he called her an idiot? No, of course not. He shouldn't have fucking been name calling because she voiced her opinion. But at the same time, yeah, you're right. He was probably extremely frustrated about whatever the fuck happened at work, and she should have. Probably just listened.
Been like, yeah, you're right. That sucks.
Now, if this is a reoccurring thing, like you're always coming home complaining about not getting tipped, then we're going to have that conversation. Like, yo.
Correct.
Let's have this conversation about how you're not supposed to get tipped because you're a fucking security guard.
Right.
Yeah.
This is your fucking job.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was mine.
Interesting.
Yeah. A little bit different.
I take it. Okay, me next, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Sam's the ender?
Yeah.
Okay. My 30 female husband's 30 male best friend, 31 male, has been living with us for 2 months and has no plans to leave.
Oh, no. Make a plan.
I hate it here. I'd be paying rent.
Can you read it one more time without the titles? Because the ages? Because I kind of like, my brain kind of glazed over with the ages for some reason.
Okay, my husband's best friend has been living with us for 2 months and has no plans to leave.
Okay.
So 3 is a party.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, whatever.
3 is company.
Whatever that's saying.
3 is company, 2.
Yeah. Yes,
come and
that
knock
one.
on our door.
My husband's best friend, Liam, cheated on his wife multiple times. And she finally kicked him out 2 months ago.
And now he's our problem for some reason.
Now he's our problem for some reason. Specifically mine.
And now he lives on my couch, and he's just the guy on the couch.
Now he's couch guy.
Well, don't mind Liam. He's just couch guy. He immediately came to stay with us, even though I was against it. But my husband said Liam sounded suicidal, so he couldn't just leave him to fend for himself. I reluctantly agreed that he could stay for 2 weeks. It's been 2 months, and he has made no move to leave. Liam spends most of the day moping around the house and having obnoxiously loud conversations with my husband about how he should never cheat on me and how cheating was the biggest mistake he's ever made. He also spends a lot of time telling my husband how lucky he is that he has a loving wife and not a prison warden.
Not for long. Not for long.
All while supposedly trying to win back his wife. I'm friends with his wife, and she asked me to let him stay too, so we can keep an eye on what he's doing for her, so she knew if it was reconciliation material, or if the only reason I've tolerated this for so long, I'm sorry, I misread that. Which is the only reason why I've tolerated this for so long, but I'm just sick of it. Okay, so she's being a spy, which is kind of whack also. That's lame. Don't ask me. Don't ask me to do shit like that, because I'm not with it.
I thought she was going to say so she could keep an eye on him to make sure he was okay, because
it was to
suicidal.
See if the reconciliation was genuine or not.
That's too much for somebody else, yeah.
Count me out of that. I don't want. I will spy. I'm gonna play.
I will spy when I
I'm gonna play
want to.
Stardew Valley and mind my business.
I'm gonna spy when I fucking want to, not because you want me to.
Right. When I'm spying, it's for my entertainment purposes. Don't fucking.
And it's from behind my blinds, not from behind my shower curtain.
It's when I'm spying on the neighbors because I'm nosy. I want him to leave. I tried speaking to my husband, but he always makes excuses for Liam and claims he can't abandon his best friend. I don't believe in ultimatums, but I'm starting to think that's my only choice right now. Please help me find a way to get rid of this man. TLDR, my husband's best friend moved in with us after his wife finally kicked him out 2 months ago for cheating on her multiple times. Ever since, he just mopes around the house all day and is making no plans to leave. I remember reading one comment that really hit the nail on the head. So let me find that.
I mean, it's what is with dudes? Like, why are you? Your marriage is more important than your fucking shitty best friend that's cheated on his wife and ruined his own life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing: if Liam was suicidal, okay, and you want to be a good friend, that's okay. Okay, got it. She was reluctant,
Agreed,
but she was like, okay, let's watch him for 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But now is the time for your husband as his friend to say, hey, you really got to go because my marriage doesn't need you here.
Correct.
And that's the thing is it sounds cold, but you don't get to just hold people hostage emotionally and mentally because, you might be suicidal. I'm sorry, but there's people can only tolerate so much. And it's one thing to put that for them to reach out and be like, okay, we'll help you for a little while, but you don't get to keep that. You don't get to hold that over their head
hostage.
Yeah,
in their own home.
Exactly, because I just don't feel like living anymore. It makes you wonder if they're always kind of pulling that when everything goes bad or they get a hint that they might start getting kicked out. It's not worth it anymore. Bad. Yeah.
So that is actually the comment that I was looking for. So there's 2 comments and they kind of just hit the nail on the head. Liam is probably not suicidal nearly as much as he's manipulative. Tell your husband that if you think Liam needs professional assistance, he needs to get it out of the house. You won't be around and they have to fend for themselves. So that's an excellent point. You're putting your mental health, that is such a guilt trip. That's such a responsibility that they didn't ask for and aren't prepared for. If you really feel like you're suicidal after 2 months, he needs to be urgently looked after. This is no longer we're friends situation, which is why I feel like it falls under manipulation. Maybe he was suicidal at one point. I'm not going to say that he wasn't. We're not even there to witness this.
Yes.
And we certainly aren't him, right? So I can't say that he wasn't at one point. But 2 months later, and if you really feel like you're suicidal 2 months later, you need immediate professional assistance.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point, he
And that's not your friend's job. Like that's so
exactly. Unless you're a fucking trained, certified psychologist, then you don't know how to. You're not going to have
doing
the
your friend any
tools.
service.
Yeah, you're not going to have the tools to be able to handle this correctly, and you need to get an expert. I would agree with this. He is using your husband as a sounding board, basically, to vent to constantly. But now that it's gotten to the point where he's like, oh, you have such a great life and you do this and you're hearing all this all the fucking time. It's time for you you got to go, baby bird. You got to go. You fucked up and you got to learn how to live with that.
You need to figure it out. Because all he's doing is just putting off the inevitable. They're either going to break up they're probably going to break up.
Yeah.
And it's also not cool of your friend to be like, can you spy on me for no. This is your relationship
this
and
is your problem.
You need to I'll be there for advice and stuff, but I'm not going to tell you everything that's happening in my house because your and cheating husband is now living with me forever.
And that's just it. Right. Maybe it sounds cold, but it's really hard for me to feel any sympathy for someone who ruined their own life like this.
Right, did you fall and slip into a vagina multiple times?
I hate
you made
this
that
shit.
choice?
I don't have sympathy for you. I don't even really have empathy for you because
these are just consequences.
These are the consequences of your actions. You fucked up. You fucked up your marriage. You cheated on your wife multiple times. And now you're sad at the consequences. So I don't care. I don't give a fuck. If that was my fucking best friend who did that, I'm gonna say that same shit.
Yeah,
I don't care. Dude.
Like you were fucked. Like I'm your friend. I'm here to vibe with you, but I can't agree with you. I think you're wrong.
You fucked up your own relationship, and now you're about to fuck up mine.
And then the lady, if this was my situation and someone came to live with me, if I, as a friend, wanted to be like, listen, I know he's sleeping on my couch, but if I'm going to put in my 2 cents, I'm going to say it once and leave it alone. I don't think he's being genuine. That's up to me if I want to spill the beans, right? But to put me in charge of that, hey, can you watch him and, see what he's up to? Do not.
No.
No.
Absolutely
That's
not.
so awkward. Don't insert me in your business. I already don't want him on my couch.
Don't put outside people into your relationship like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is like I said, there's one thing between calling your friend and asking for advice or to vent. There's another thing of literally inserting them into your relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
It never in the history of ever has worked out well.
Yeah.
You can't be the third person in the relationship.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, it's always between two people.
It never works out. It never works out.
And it's just as bad for the people that insert themselves. You go and vent to somebody else, and that person takes up the wing, and they talk to your spouse, and you're like, what? I told you
because
this.
At the end of the day, okay, so the wife that wants to get rid of the guy, she now knows how you feel. So if she takes him back or whatever, she's gonna know you're the person that was you should get a divorce, and you can't take that back. She already knows that's how you feel. Yeah. And so if she does or doesn't, she knows that about you. It's just the friendship's not. You just can't be in people's relationships like that. You have to be a listening ear, and be supportive and be emotionally, can I help you with anything? But the second you try to actually insert yourself in someone's relationship and be in it, ooh, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
For me. Whoa.
Spicy.
What a story. Yeah.
I might have a soap opera.
Okay.
You ready?
I love it. I'm ready.
My boyfriend of over 2 years won't divorce his wife. Divorce.
I'm going
to try that again. My boyfriend of over 2 years won't divorce his wife and only lives at home half a week.
Huh? What?
I've been with my boyfriend for over 2 years, but he won't divorce his wife because he promised her they would stay separated but married until their daughter, who's 14, turned 18. The ex knows about me, but most of his family doesn't know me, including his mom. He said he talked to his ex about it, and she doesn't want a divorce because of their daughter, and so he wants to fulfill his promise. I feel very shitty about it, and it's starting to affect me after a while. We live together, but he's away 4 nights a week at his mother's apartment. The other 3 nights, his mom has a stay-in lady with her. She's 80. She had a heart attack about 6 months ago. I understand he doesn't want her alone, but if he told her about us, maybe she could come live with us, or at least close to us, so he spends more nights at home. I think he's ashamed to tell his family because we have an age gap. He's older. I just feel second to everyone in his life, and I feel like things won't change. I want to marry him and have a child. He says he wants those things, but he won't change the previous 2 facts I mentioned. Are my feelings valid? Am I crazy? Also, really, really quickly, she posted an edit that basically says that she's 22 and he's 20 years older than her.
Oh my God. No, get the fuck out of this relationship. End it now. It's not worth it.
End it now. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not.
It wasn't even worth it before the age thing because this whole bullshit of like, oh yeah, we're gonna stay married for the kid and we're gonna lie about everything. Like,
you haven't met his mother, and you think that the ex knows about you. She doesn't. She doesn't know about you. He's staying with her. He has not told her about you at all. It's been 2 years, and he's never going to.
You are the side chick.
You are the side chick.
Yeah. They never get divorced. Lesson number 1 in womanhood. They never leave their wives.
He's never going to leave his wife. He's never going to leave his wife. That smile.
You hate to see it because it sounds so obvious, but it's like, no, every 22-year-old girl has to like go through this or something stupid like it. Like, I can tell you how this is going to end.
In the comments, someone put a poll and it says, do you think the quote separated wife actually knows about the much younger girlfriend? There are 3,300 votes. 67% of them say no way. Only 4% of them says, of course she does. She does not know about you. She does not know about you.
No.
Right. Also, say he is telling the truth, right? Let's really go out on a limb and say that story is 100% accurate. Whatever. Say he does divorce his wife. Do you want to be the stepmother to people that are 3 years younger than you? What?
Yeah.
You're going to go to the same college together? Excuse me? What? Make that make sense.
I guarantee. Oh my God. The other. Yeah, that's very true. Someone in the post said the wife thinks that he's at his mom's the other 3 days out of the week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is.
Are you trying to look up comments?
Oh, I'm sleuthing. I found her.
Oh.
So I want to see if she's said anything else here. Because she posted this on her real account, so.
Oof, that's brave.
Right?
Very brave.
He's probably too old and doesn't know how to use Reddit. It's fine.
That's true. That's true.
Honestly, she doesn't seem to have any comments based off of this. Like, at all. Like.
At some point, she said that there was a... Oh, there it goes. His mom is always calling him when he is with me. I do believe he's loyal. His daughter knows they are separated, but also doesn't want them to divorce. I met his daughter, but as a friend. She did ask him if he lives with me, but he denied it. The ex is very attached to the daughter and grew up without a dad, so she is scared for... what is this term? The ex is very attached to the daughter. No shit, it's her fucking kid. The ex is very...
She has like this weird controlling
attachment to this child. I don't get it.
This child that came out of her body.
So she grew up without a dad. She's scared for her daughter, even though he is a very good dad. He's scared of losing his daughter and a lot of money in this divorce. They're in fact divorced in every way, but on paper.
Then they're not divorced.
Right.
He asked if I wanted to meet his ex, and I said no. I want to meet the important people in his life, such as his mom. His siblings do not know about me, and I even received... Oh, sorry. His siblings do know about me, and I even received a gift from one. That's what I've told him, that normal couples don't live like that. It isn't normal for him to be at his mom's all the time, and he just always throws at me that she had a heart attack. Okay, so did I read at the beginning that they've been together? Yeah, for over 2 years. Over 2 years, and his mom doesn't know about you?
Raising his girlfriend.
He's 40 years old raising a 20-year-old.
That's so gross.
That's so gross.
That's so like groomy. Ugh.
How low is her self-esteem that she has to go with a 40-year-old man?
It may not be that low. I think she's just dumb and young.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's with like?
Everyone wants to think that they are the exception to the rule.
But
Yes.
what's with these women? Then, if that's the case, what's with the women that are always getting with these older men? Whereas, like, why aren't they like?
Because it always seems like they have way more experience with everything. Because once you date somebody who's your age, when you're fucking 18 and 20, like you start to realize how fucking stupid they are.
Because everybody's stupid. Because you're both fucking stupid. You're both 18.
There's just something about an older dude.
It's just like. I don't know. It's just.
I really do believe that it's the whole, like, it seems like they have everything figured out, that they want to take care of you, that blah, 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 blah. They had way more experience.
You really hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
But you didn't. There's a reason why women their age don't want them. You did not hit anything. Like, they're weirdos. Cut them off.
Yeah. Fucking get in a healthy relationship with someone your own fucking age that isn't in this whole situation, because Jesus Christ, this is a fucking train wreck. Like,
yeah. That was a delicious train wreck, I have to admit.
Yeah. I did think of something, by the way. This is because I looked down and I saw that you had West Coast Sushi written down. So, like, on the show West Coast Sushi, after it runs its course, would there be like a spin-off show called like Southside Sam?
Lord.
Like, you know, like the Joey of Friends, but like.
Why am I the Joey?
Because like.
Why can't I be the Pam?
You get the alliteration. Because you're Sam, you're not Pam. Southside Sam.
Also meant Pam from Martin, not Pam from The Office.
It's.
What about Pam from True Blood?
I forgot.
Which one's Pam from True Blood?
The blonde lesbian vampire.
Oh, fuck, I don't remember her. God,
The Eric Northman's progeny.
Oh, yeah, because she was a bitch.
I forgot all
She
about
was.
True Blood as a show and as everything.
Yeah, me too.
Man,
She's appealing to look at.
We really did go through a whole like phase of everyone wanting to
Vampires.
fuck vampires.
Yeah, we did.
This episode was all over the place. What are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? Sometimes we talk about vampires and I don't know, sleeping on people's couches.
Sometimes you talk about incest.
Sometimes talk about incest.
Sometimes. Was that this episode or the last?
That was the minisode.
That was a mini-sode.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was Twincest. So if you guys haven't listened to it, that
my
minisode, go back to that minisode on Monday.
I can't wait for AJ to put a hashtag
to
incest
that.
on this
I
video.
know.
Yeah.
Well, not this video,
Well, the
but
previous
the
one.
previous video.
Them incest numbers get good views.
Oh, Lord.
Do they really?
They do.
The last time when we titled the one episode, "Is incest the hill you want to die on?"
Oh right.
It was like our number one video.
It became our number one video, and
Let's game the system.
I
That's
also
why
put
all the
hashtag
incest
incest.
stories. Let's go.
How many incest stories can we find on Reddit?
I'm sure there's a lot. It's the internet.
I recently found another board that I thought was kind of interesting, but then I realized we couldn't really make anything talking points out of it. Maybe we could for like a fun little thing. It was just called Aged Like Milk.
Ooh.
Yeah, so a little board to maybe check out. Maybe we can find a little something to laugh at in there.
Could be.
My
yeah,
favorite
definitely.
new board is I Don't Work Here, Lady.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is.
If any listeners have any suggestions for good boards, because
yeah.
I don't have to always do the onion, we can switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah,
I don't follow that many different boards.
Send us an email at contact@everyonesuckshere.com or drop us a line on Twitter at ESH Podcast.
Send us your relationship issues, or maybe am I the asshole in this situation? We want to hear it. We want to read about it. We want to judge you.
Yeah.
I definitely want to judge you. It's my favorite pastime.
And if you're 20, don't date a 40-year-old. Just stop. Before when you write out that age, take a good hard look at what you wrote out and go, you know what? I'm not even going to submit this post. I'm just going to delete it and then move on with my
But
life.
AJ, he's like a young 40.
Right? Yeah,
He has abs.
You don't get it.
You don't get it. He's got abs and money.
Yeah.
I don't get it. He likes White Claws.
The White Claws. He likes hard seltzer Corona.
Yeah.
He plays in his office's softball league.
Ew.
So he's very white.
He's just like, I'm a very mature 20-year-old.
He knows what horses are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I
impressive.
just sparked a memory in my head that I just realized that not only did my father, but my stepmom both belonged to fucking company softball leagues for a while. I just remembered that. I used to go, as a kid, I used to go to their fucking
That was a
games.
repressed memory.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I feel like that's a very 90s thing. I don't think people do that anymore, right? Like have like bowling leagues and like softball
They're
leagues.
too busy having espressos at the espresso machine in the office.
Yeah, no one does. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
That's
just,
that's the
fucking-
office culture now.
They went from the
Yeah.
they went from doing coke benders in the 80s to, okay, we need to dial it back. Let's play some softball instead.
But also, like they don't
Down a
have,
notch.
they also don't have time to do fucking softball when you're working 12 hours a day.
That's
Yeah.
true. We don't have any free time.
Yeah.
Speaking of no free time, we are out of time. So we are going to end this here and we will catch up with you guys next week.
Bye.
More Minisode bullshit.
Bye.
Bye.